Hi, it's foxadeello, and I am back with my 30 minutes of crafting, and I want to do a little bit of show and tell. I finished all 3 of my slow stitching covers, and I will show you them. So this is the first one that I finished. Well, no, actually, this is the last one I finished, but this first one I sewed. And then I have this one, and this one. Okay, and the crafting part that we're going to work on today is putting the interior of the journal. Okay, so this one, I've actually sewn the interior, and as you can see, I attached it. Make sure we're in frame. Yes, okay. The interior was attached with a blanket stitch and a whip stitch on these 2 sides. So flipping it over, we have this pretty bright green fabric, and then we have this pocket. There's going to be a pocket on both sides, and then this is where the spine is going to go. It's going to sew right through the cover right here, and be a pretty little stitches on the outside. Well, you know, more straight stitches on the outside. It's going to look pretty. But yeah, so this is what I'm going to do on one of the other ones today. We're going to work on this one. So it takes a little bit of work to do. Quite a bit of work. So first what I'm going to do, here's the back. I've cut this file folder to size. So for this one, I'm going to slip the file folder under this little bit that I made here, and the same on this side. Make sure we have a good fit. Yes. Okay, and I left space on the top and bottom so I'm not sewing directly through the cardstock. But I am going to glue this in place so that it's not shifting around as we try to work. This will take me a little bit. I'm going to glue on both sides because I really want this to be a permanent placement. So I'm going to get both sides pretty gluey. Trying to get everything in frame. Trying not to shake the table too much because my camera setup is an arm that's attached to the table. So I know I probably need to figure out a way to have it not shake so much. And that'll be my next filming goal, I guess. Okay, so that is glued. I'll quickly get some of this and glue on some of these places. And since this is, oh goodness. Since this is fabric, it kind of tears the glue up pretty quickly, so even just a light rub on will get a nice amount of glue. You don't want to get so much glue that it's leaking through the other side, but just a kind of a light amount. At least that's what I have found to be effective. Glue down this part. Okay, and then I'm going to get a little bit on this side. Not get my scissors involved. Don't want that. Okay. And I'm running a race right now. Race against glue dry time. Okay. I want the space Oh, this way. Yes, this way. Okay. All right. Gotta lift the edge up. I hope I'm getting this where you can see what I'm doing. Trying to get this all the way to the edge inside. Okay, that seems pretty good. I'm gonna lift this side up. Okay, and that looks like I did a pretty good job on that. Okay, now flip it over because we have these, I have these little lumpy bumpies when it's face down. Just spreading this out. All right. And there, so that's pretty well stuck. We're gonna have it pretty even as well, so we did a good job. Did a good job this time. Alright, so now I'm just going to glue these sides down. Just gonna do it on the cardstock, and this time we go all the way to the edge. Okay. There. And there are probably better ways to do this, but this is the way that I chose this time. I try out different ways, as long as they're, you know, effective. Like this book is going to stay together. You know, that's the point I try to strive for. Like this is gonna be a well-made journal, even if it's not done the, you know, the easiest way. It's done, even if it's inefficient, it's still effective. Okay. All right. And then for this one, I'm going to use that same green fabric that I've roughly, you know, trimmed and ripped to size. So let's see. I have it about the same height. Like so. And make sure I get it all the way to the bottom and all the way to the top. And then I can trim off any extra if there is any extra. So I think there's a little bit of glue there, but alright, so now I'm just going to flip it up like that. And as you see, it hangs off on the edges, so I'm going to fold those down. But right now, I'm going to glue the center so I don't have it shifting around on me. So I'm just going to do, now for this, this fabric is thin, so I'm only going to do the glue on the ones on the cardstock side, the file folder side, because if there is any gloopiness to the glue, it will kind of seep through, and you know, eventually it will dry, but it does take quite a while with this glue. This is pretty serious glue, that's why I like it so much. But it does stay sticky for a little bit. Okay, so now I'm just going to make sure I have it even on both sides, not get any bubbles in it. I'm going to flip it over and check this side. Now I'm going to smooth it down. And again, I'm going to have to flip this over and smooth this side from the front. Try a little bit with this because it's a little bit of a fold showing. Okay, there. All right, so now that I have this, you know, positioned correctly, make sure I'm still in frame, and I am. Okay, so now I'm going to fold this like so, and so that the edges are not showing. on this side. I like them showing on this way because, you know, you get these little raggedy edges. And the way that I'm gonna, with the blanket stitch and the whip stitch, you're not going to, it's not gonna unravel completely, but you know, you get the nice little frayed edges, which I enjoy. So I'm just gonna fold it in a straight line like so and glue that down. So the way I like to do this is get it nice and creased at where the seam is going to go, or the fold, and then I flip it open and glue light. You know, don't put a whole lot of pressure on this because you don't want it to go through to the other piece of fabric, but then that way you don't have it bubbling up on you. Okay, and then you can just press it like so. Right, and now, well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and do the same on this side. Fold it under. Make sure it goes all the way across. Give it a nice little crease. Yeah. Check it one more time just before you glue it. Okay. I like to kind of crease it with my fingernail. Check it. Okay. I'm happy with that. So now peel it open. Give it a light glue the inside. Okay. Fold it over. Now is when you can give it the last little check. Okay, so now that's sealed down. And now I will go through and make sure everywhere else is sealed down well. So now's the time to make sure you get glue everywhere. You pull back the edges. Again, not too thick because of the thinness of the cotton fabric. But I want it to hold and not slip around too much because, you know, it'll just be a sturdier thing if it doesn't slip. I somehow had the fear that I wasn't recording, even though I've checked the recording like twice or 3 times already. Oh goodness. Alright, so that side's done. Now I'm going to do the down the sides, the tops and bottoms, I mean. And all this is going to be held on, we're going to sew around all the edges, so it's not like this is the only source of attachment, but I still I like to get I like for all of my ways of attaching to be permanent, and like you could get away with just gluing or just sewing, but I like both. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, and this side is pretty attached already, but I'm just going to run a little bit of glue on the edge there. And now check this. See how messy my glue stick has gotten. And one thing about, I think just about any glue stick really, is you're supposed to do at least like 2 passes, so I just like to go back and forth across it, and that, you know, makes it a lot more permanent. But I mean, this glue stick is you know, I always sing its praises because I've had a lot of trouble with glue in the past, and finding one that works is like, oh, I love it. Okay, now we've gotten this far, so this is how it's looking. And now I'm going to attach the pocket, the interior pocket. I'm going to line it up and see. So I'm going to put this on the bottom. Okay, like so. Okay, now for this, I am going to use the glue, but it's not amazing on this material. I'm not exactly sure. It's like a polyester or something. It's not amazing on it, but it is just to tack it in place. Like, I could use pins. I don't really love pins. I get so much higher potential of stabbing myself with pins in my stuff. And you know, maybe if I use them more often, I would, you know, learn. But I'm just gonna glue it on the edges just a little bit. Like I said, I'm not expecting this to hold. It will be well sewn, but this is definitely helpful just to hold it in place, so while I'm sewing I don't have to keep such a mind on it, you know. So I'm just lightly dabbing the edges and pressing them down. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do the same all the way across. You see, like, how many pins would this take? This would take so many pins to try to get this little... I'm not even sure how you would pin it. I'm hoping that this is... I mean, this is what I did for the other one, so I mean, I know it works, but I'm not sure... I'm not sure how long I worked on that one. So I'm trying to get this one done, at least a good stitch started within 30 minutes. So when I'm not on camera, I try to take my time with this type of thing, because I do really enjoy the process of crafting. But I also don't want to, you know, I only have so long I can wait for an upload. So, you know, I get a little rushed. That's what I have to say. I get a little rushed. But so far, I haven't made any mistakes that couldn't be fixed. Okay, so now I'm just going to carefully trim this. Trim this lace. This is another thing that, you know, this would be really difficult to do if I hadn't, you know, glued it down and had it in position to get this like right to the edge. Okay, then I'm gonna glue this side, and then we can finally get to sewing around the edges. I've enjoyed this process, this slow stitching process immensely, but I am ready to get done with these. These are probably the longest I've spent on any covers, like active time. I've spent so many hours just thinking about what I'm going to do for any given cover. Oh, and then I also kind of find the middle and just kind of glue that down a little bit as well. I find that it, see, that just popped right up. Let's see. Yeah, that gets it. That didn't hold it long enough. So just press, 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 press. Okay, now I think we are ready to stitch. Put this, my icky glue away. Okay, so check from the front. We have a little bit of hang off up there. I'm gonna trim. Yeah, so mostly just the top, a little tiny bit down here. So again, I'm just gonna take my scissors. I'm just gonna trim the tiniest amount off the bottom. Because it'll, sorry, my friend, it'll get, you know, bound up together. So it will be good. Okay. Just gonna do some trimming up here. Hopefully get it nice and straight. I'll also have to check from the back as soon as I'm done trimming. Okay. That looks good from the front. And that looks pretty good from the back. So we are ready to sew. Let's see, I prepared 2 needles worth. Because it took me 3. This one's, I may have made this one too long, but I guess that's what I'll work with. Okay, so to start, let's see, where do I want to start? I guess I'm gonna start from this so I can get this sewn on, because I'm worried about the glue on this polyester holding. So I'm just gonna go in between the 2 pieces so that I can hide that knot. Trying to make an extra knot, it seems. Okay. There we go. And then I'm just gonna push that. Got it all glued so it doesn't want to push, but okay, there we go. And then I'm just gonna start a, how did I do this? Now's when the questions start. Let me look at my first one I did. Let me just try something and see if it works. Okay, I think I went, where did I go? Was it here? Yeah, right here. Okay. Sorry about that. I figured it out. It always takes me a bit to figure out how to do a blanket stitch. I'm not positive that's right. I'll do one more and see if it was right. Okay, yes, that looks right. Okay, now we're in business. So yes, so most of this, oh, I know what I'm done wrong. Okay, I got this. I'm gonna undo. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just Control Z on real world things? But anyway, I'm just gonna undo this, because what I did last time was I did this from the front. The pretty stitching I did. Of course I want to pay attention to what's on the front. I want the inside to be very pretty as well. Okay, so I just got to redo the needle. Terrible Terrible attempt number one. Okay. Now then. Here we go. Now I'm going to be going the other direction, so it's not quite as easy, but we'll make it work. Okay. So we take a stab, come out through the loop, and there's our L shape that I was looking for. Very nice. Okay. We got it. I'll do this for a few bits and then check to see how much time has passed. Whew, I'm glad that air conditioning came on. I'm getting toasty in here. Getting quite toasty. Yeah, so you want this to be a pretty border all the way around? I think so. Yes. I'm a fan. It is nice to be a fan of your own work, because otherwise what are you doing it for? If you don't like the work you're doing, that just seems sad. I have, it's at this point that I'm like, how did I even start this video? I'm not sure. But I hope it was coherent. Because we're far into it at this point. Just gotta check that time. Okay, we're down to 3 minutes. How much can I get done? I'm not sure. I'm not the fastest of slow stitchers. I take that slow stitch, the slow in the slow stitch to heart, it seems. I'm also pretty sure I cut my thread longer than some. I'm not positive on that. And I know I get quite tangled. Oh, I'm so excited to get these posted on my Etsy, and I hope they go to a home someone's gonna love the work that I did. Oh, I'm excited to get these done. These have been such an adventure. And I'd love to be able to make more of them. But they were a long process, so it's kind of difficult to make that decision. If they don't, if no one likes them, if no one else likes them. I still won't find these to be a waste of time. Like, I definitely learned a lot. I felt really great making them. Felt very creative. This project really helped my creativity. Again, I was having some struggles, so this was a really great project to sink my teeth into. So no regrets. Alright, so we are getting down to, well, we're probably past the 30-minute mark, but I'm just going to do some closing remarks, I guess. But here's how the blanket stitch is going. And on this side, yeah, so that'll be pretty cute going all the way around, well, going all the way across here, and then across here. And like I said, I'll do a whip stitch on here, like I did in yellow right here and here. Yeah, so these are my Springy Slow Stitch journal covers, which I have 3 of. And the next video on these will be putting in the signatures. So I hope you join me for that one. Thank you for watching. Yeah, thank you for watching. It's really great to have you here. I hope you have enjoyed your time. And if you have, please give me a like and subscribe so you can see more of me. Yeah, so thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.